My name is Rix. Home to me is surrender, uh, space, uh, accommodation, and food. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Tell us about your home experience and how it shaped who you are today.
For me, my home was a battlefield. Okay. Um, I heard Mike share something about his dad. Uh, with us, it was like 24/7. Like my parents were fighting all the time. For as long as I remember being a child, you know, and that was difficult, especially because my dad was the abusive one, and just seeing that my mom and myself were mostly helpless. I'm the first one. We were very helpless because, again, in many of our cultures, the man is the head, and if he has money, it's worse. If he's abusive, you know. So you don't have a voice. You can't speak. You can't express yourself. There is no peace at home. Whenever his energy is in the house, nobody feels like it's a place they want to come to. You know what I mean? And that traumatized me a lot as a child. I grew up very confused, very withdrawn because things just didn't make sense to me, right? And how that influenced me growing up, even outside the house, is I've been very lucky, more than many people who grow up in such instances, because I got other homes in friends and in my passion for writing as well. I Even if I was to die today, really I can say that nimependwa. I've been loved really so much by people around me. But one of those things that when I was growing up I used to tell myself is that nikikuwa mkubwa, I want to create peace because I didn't have it at home. And if I grow up and I don't find it in the world, then I will create it, right? And so in one of those forms, I always ask myself, when people look at me, when they think of me, when they remember me, do they have the feeling of home? Am I gentle the way I want home to feel like? Am I friendly the way I want home to feel like? Am I understanding the way I want home to feel like? Doesn't matter anybody's background. Am I that thing for them? And the other thing was to create a peaceful physical place. So anybody who's been at my house knows that, like, for me, my house feels gentle. It feels warm. It feels like this is a place I can come and surrender.
Wow. All right. Now we want to come home by
Mkuje na mbebe unga.
But mwisho, in brief, what's your ideal home, Basi?
My ideal home is a place I can be myself, or anybody can be themselves. I am also maybe very lucky because one of my best friends is Anmona Mingia Pasai. His name is Manu. Anytime I see Manu, I see home. You know, because actually, even as men, we don't get to say this so often. But it's just the fact that we need to be intentional, and especially speaking for men, to create spaces within ourselves and for each other where people can just be who they are. You know, I love music, I love dancing. My friends know that. Whenever I'm doing those things, they don't tell me, Rix, ini falagani unadu. Unajua. I love words, I love writing and talking about sex. My friends know that. When I'm doing those things, they don't ask me, Rix, ini falagani unadu. Unacheki. As long as I'm not hurting anybody and everybody's just having fun. So my ideal home are those things, plus it having space for growth and learning, which is also very important. I think that seeing what my parents were going through, I don't think they ever imagined there are people who could grow. You know, they often faced life with all they knew, and all they knew was all there was. You get? So for me, I'm learning as a grown-up that home is also a space to grow, right? And people are changing, including ourselves. In fact, if you're not changing, you're dying, especially spiritually, mentally, because your body is going anyway. Yeah. And I think that's amongst the most important components, especially that growth part, that I would want to communicate to the world, that we can start thinking of home becoming.
Wow. That's appreciated. Great. Thank you very much, sir.